What's going on, you guys? Today's a special episode, right? I have my buddy here, Mo. I'm gonna let him introduce himself in a minute, but I'm excited about this episode because we are about to get into some really juicy stuff, because we have both the Western meets the Eastern and a global perspective of masculinity and manhood here. So we're really excited. As you all know, for those who don't know, I'm Mr. Locker Room. Welcome, welcome, welcome. If you haven't already subscribed to us, go ahead and click that subscribe button there and hit the notification bell. And you can follow us across all social media platform at Locker Room, LCKERROOM. That's one word, not two. On Snapchat, TikTok, LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, X, wherever you find social media, just look up the Locker Room. And if you can't find us on YouTube, try Mr. Locker Room, and you should be able to connect with us. So, Mr. Mo, bro,
Hey, thank you so much for having me,
of
Josh.
course,
It's
dude, I
it's
missed you
it's it's a
yesterday. I
pleasure.
missed you
I know,
yesterday.
I know. Things went bad, but next time we're doing this thing. But thank you so much for having me.
Of course,
It's
yes.
a great pleasure.
Yes. So why don't you let people know a little bit
Yeah,
about yourself? Because they're like, who is this person and why is he on here? It doesn't matter. He's gonna
yeah,
tell you. So
yeah. Oh, thank you so much
of
again. I
course.
mean, super happy to be here and to give you and to give everyone a short introduction of me. I won't take too long, but yeah, I was born and raised in India, so I've lived in India for almost like all my life. I came to States last year in around August, and right now it's October 2025. So it's been like a more than year, 1.5 years since I've been in States. And yeah, I was born and raised in India, and then I've had some. So I went to college, and I finished college with a computer science course, and then I did MBA, and then I finished that, and then I went into sales. So by profession, I'm a salesperson. I work in tech sales or IT sales, as some people would call it. So and it's fun. And then yeah, so I finished my MBA, and then I was still in India, but I was always working with American people, selling to American people, working American time zone. So I was like, why not come to America and do a better job here? Because anyways, I'm doing everything American, American, American. So, and America was always like something which is super attractive, and you always want to be there, and it's so attractive. Like there's no other country as attractive as America. Like no one dreams about going to New Zealand or, I don't want to like say bad things about any other country, but America is the place. It's so famous. So I was like, yeah, let's come to America. Then I came to America. So right now, we're in Denver right now. I'm in Denver right now, Denver, Colorado. And I came to Colorado State University and completed my second master's. Second master's is funny, but yeah, and I completed my second master's, and then I graduated. Was fortunate enough to get a job. So been working with a company which has a SaaS product, which is like software as a service. So working in again like sales or consulting department, and yeah, and bro, I'm so glad that I meet you recently. Like
Mhm.
you're one of the best buddy. I feel like I can connect with you on a deeper level. So and you're hosting a show, so nothing can be better than that. So I'm super excited to be here.
Well, I do, for those of you all who have
Mhm.
probably seen me talk before, it's like I do have a very strong desire to go to New Zealand, right? So,
Okay. I'm
I have
sorry.
been, no, because I have been working on wanting to do
Yeah.
this East Asian Pacific tour,
Oh, yeah.
for like a
I
month or
remember.
so, and
Yeah.
I want to go to New Zealand,
It's a
Fiji.
great country.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I want to do like a
Yeah.
city tour. Like, so I want to go to New Zealand, Fiji, Australia, Melbourne, Sydney, of course, there,
Yeah.
Taiwan, South Korea, and then
Wow.
in Japan, and probably go snowboarding while I'm in Japan.
Yeah.
So, but look,
Yeah.
if once that happened, trust me, I will be doing special episodes in each country, right?
That'd be
So
so
for that.
good.
Yeah. But thank you. So I didn't know you had two masters. You only told me
I know
about
it's
one.
insane. No, I don't like to like talk about it, but I thought because like almost everyone who's gonna like watch this episode is probably seeing me for the first time, and I don't relate with my education at all because I was
Mhm.
never a good student. But I thought just to give them like where I'm coming from, what's my perspective, and just to because I never tell anyone. I don't even tell that I have like a single master's. I just say, yeah, I don't even like talk about it because I honestly think it doesn't make like it doesn't matter.
Mm.
even a person having like 10 masters and a person dropping out of high school, it doesn't matter at all. So that's why I never like talk about it. But I was like, oh, let me give an introduction and what can I use,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
so that the other people would have a little bit, an idea like what's my perspective and the things that I've done,
yeah.
and like, well, I haven't done anything great, but the thing
I
that
mean,
I'm
well, I
coming
mean,
from.
you have done a lot of
No,
wonderful
I feel
things.
you. I like undercut myself, but
Yeah, because we've had a really wonderful. You guys don't let him
right.
fool you. Please don't let
Yeah.
Mo fool you. Do not let this man fool you.
So we
He
like to
has
stay humble and grounded. Yeah,
because him and I have talked, and he has done a lot and has a lot of wonderful perspective. That's why he's here.
right. Exactly.
Right, so but and yeah, so this episode is a special episode, right? Because we wanted to
Yes.
talk about masculinity and manhood from a
Right.
global perspective, right? And the
Right.
title of this episode is it fits both of us, right?
Yes.
The title is called Masculine, Feral, and Free. Now, some people may look at that word feral
Right.
and think like, what are y'all talking about? Well, we're going to get
Uh,
into it, right? Because
okay.
we're not defining everything up front because we want to explore it, right?
Right.
That's the whole premise here, because it's like we were talking about this on the rooftop, having a couple of cigars, and it was a beautiful combination, and we really
Right.
connected deeply over some wonderful topics. So let's get into it, bro. Let's get into it. So one of the things, I have this prompt that I want to start off with, like, so what
Hmm.
does masculinity sound like when you strip the accent? And this is a double pun, right? Because
Yeah.
you have this beautiful accent, but
No, thank you. I
so
appreciate that.
what does masculinity sound like when you strip the accent,
Yes.
the background, the culture,
Yeah.
and just let a man speak his heart?
Right.
So to
Right.
you, what's the
Yes.
first thing that comes to mind?
Sure, man, totally. And I think it's a very deep question, and I really feel like it could mean a lot of different things for different people. But for me, masculinity is being in your own original self and understanding and accepting that you were meant to lead. You weren't meant to follow. I mean, of course, you can follow people who are doing better than you and who are like guiding you. But except for that, you are meant to lead, and you have a big brain and logical brain to decide what's good for you, what's bad for you, and not only just you, the people who are dependent on you, the people you are here to take care for. So you're the one who's gonna be leading and supporting them, and also making sure that they're doing okay. They're not they have the right beliefs in their mindset, because a
Mm,
lot of times when we talk about masculinity, we have to talk about the feminine side of things as well.
mm,
So a feminine women, they're all great, they're all good. However, because masculine people, or the masculinity leads with logic and the femininity leads with emotion. So when 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 someone leads with emotion, it's really easy to like fool someone, because
mm,
you just need to like play with emotions, and people can get wrong beliefs, wrong ideas, and it can get implanted in them, especially females. uh, so when you're a masculine person, you don't even have, you're not just like taking care about yourself, you're taking about the females in your house. What do they believe in? Are they aligning well towards our family values, or are they not aligning towards family values? Because it's all a big psyop, and you should be able to see, now that's not true, that's bullshit. And then some things like, no, that's true. And a lot of times, because of emotions, people can get fooled easily. So
mm, mm.
logic is I mean, I'm not saying bad things about emotion, because I think it's a beautiful thing.
No, no, no,
If I
you're
want to
fine. Yeah,
understand you, yeah,
yeah.
because if I want to understand you, I would need to, if I try to logically understand you, I would never be able to understand you. Uh, but however, if I want to understand you, I need emotions to understand
Mm,
you, because logic would never lead me there. But all in all, we need like a balance of both. So for me, masculinity is leading and setting an example. And if I'm saying, okay, I'm gonna work out, so I'm gonna work out because I said that, even if I'm not feeling like it, even if it's raining outside, because you're the one who's gonna lead and who's gonna set the example. And if the leader is not doing the things that they're supposed to do, how other people are gonna, even how bad it's gonna be for the other people. So I think that's what a true masculinity is. And also sacrificing. I would say I'm sorry, I think you were about to say
No,
something,
no,
but
no, go for it. No, I was just laughing.
sacrificing, yeah, because I feel I feel like sacrificing is such a big part of the masculine realm because as a guy, I was born with like zero value. Like a dude has like a zero inherent value. Like they're not valuable at all. A female, it doesn't matter if they're working, if they're not working, doesn't matter. A female in itself is very valuable, and we value females a lot. But as a guy, like no one cares if I so in like wars and stuff, like in Ukraine, there's like so many dudes just like dying in Ukraine, and like no one cares. No one, no, I mean, of course, people care, but not that much. However, if there were like a lot of females dying in the Ukraine-Russia war on some other wars, everyone would be like, "Hey, what are we doing? We shouldn't be doing that." But the dudes die all the time. No one cares. So I feel like as a masculine person, we were born with like zero value. However, we get to decide our own value. So if I'm doing the good thing, if I'm shaking hands with confidence, and if I'm on time, and if I'm doing the right things, if I'm saying the right things, if I'm believing in the right things, I get to create my own value. So I think the world is super big for a guy. If you do the right things, you could. If you invest wisely, you can be a Warren Buffett. If you like work out nicely, you can be like Arnold, or there's insane amount. There's no limit to a guy. Uh, but it comes to the downside that we are born with inherent zero value. So if a guy who's just like passing out time and not doing anything, I mean, life's gonna be on like hard mode for them. Yeah, and if you're doing good things, then life becomes easy, and you take care of yourself, you take care about of like people around you, and then
Mhm.
life is like easy mode, which is good. Be like that.
Yeah, because you said something in that about,
Mhm.
if the leader is not leading, how can others
Yeah,
follow? And you're that's gonna piss a lot of people off. But not it's not your fault because I completely
yeah.
agree with you because
Okay.
like you have so many people who want to sound like a leader that who are
Yeah,
not
exactly. Yeah,
leading, and
yeah,
so they think that this whole
yeah,
masculine trend or phase, I want to say, because
yeah,
masculinity right now is a what's the word? It's a fad, right?
yeah, yeah.
Masculinity right now has become a fad, and then toxic
Toxic,
masculinity has become a trending buzzword. And
right,
I think that there is a huge lack of understanding the difference between masculinity of the previous generation and
right.
masculinity in the current generation. There's a huge difference because the gap between how masculinity was taught through demonstration is
Yeah.
is palpable. It's very much, you can feel it. And then when you have like my
Hmm.
generation and your generation,
Right.
now you start hearing people talking about emotional intelligence. That was
Yeah.
not something that you heard the older
Yeah.
generations, like our parents, really talking
Right.
about.
Right.
Now there's a huge category and scientific background and research behind emotional intelligence,
Yeah.
developing that,
Yeah.
and then how that relates to the male, I don't want to say necessarily gender roles, because people like there's no gender. So, but well, men have functions, right? There's a
Yeah.
masculine function and there's a feminine function. Like I
Yeah.
get
Of
to have a
course.
baby. It's
Yeah.
like I have seed.
Exactly.
I have seed.
Yeah.
I produce sperm, and it's like that sperm
Yeah.
gets somewhere. So
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
like those are functions that are
Right.
very biological and
Yeah.
atomically
It's
assigned.
hardwired.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So you said that too, and it's like I'm a firm believer that people have their own divine intrinsic value inside of them. Now, whether or not they have discovered that or have
Yes.
connected with that is different, because I think you and I have talked about, the value systems in person,
Yes.
and about like how do you value yourself? It's like I'm all about nobody's going to tell me my value.
Right.
I have my own. But
Mhm.
no, that was really, really good.
Yeah.
And so I want to kind of push into that now as we
Yeah.
go into this first segment,
Uh-huh.
which deals with the masculine accent, right? Um,
Right.
and it's just so funny because every time I hear that, I think about because you guys, prior to us talking and starting this episode, him and I were talking because he's like, this whole masculine accent. Are you talking about the way I talk? And no, 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 it's not
Yeah.
necessarily what we're talking about. It's about
Yeah.
how, something is accentuating,
Right.
masculinity is accentuating in society and culture and
Right.
ethical things, and globally or locally, from the
Right.
western to the eastern, and type of things like that. So our first segment is entitled masculine accent. And so
Hmm.
I want to ask you what masculinity sounds like in India versus
Right. Okay.
Erica.
Yeah, man. Well, I might be a little controversial here
No, 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 it's
because
okay. It's the best. That's
yeah,
great.
because I'll tell you what. So masculinity in India is, I would say, like, I mean, of course, so like one way to measure anyone's masculinity is kind of like measure the testosterone levels, I would say, because I mean, research has proved that the more testosterone you're gonna have, the more stoic you're gonna have, and then I mean, which means like more masculinity, and the less testosterone, the less things go by. And so, having saying that, and also India is a second world country. It's not a third world country. It's not a first world country. So things there are like super different. The life isn't as easy, like how easy life is in America. Life is tough, man. Like, and you have to fight for the spot on the bus because it's always overcrowded, for the train, for the job. There's like a lot of fight going around, which because of which what happens is you have to be masculine, like like strong in
Mm,
a very masculine way, because you cannot be soft in India, because if you're soft in India, you're just gonna get crushed. People are gonna walk over you all over the place. You're not gonna get anywhere in life if you're soft. However, the way I feel in America, however, also having said that, I feel like in India, the masculinity is there, but it's not developed properly.
mm,
Although, I mean, it's very hard to explain. Although I would say the testosterone levels are a little higher, but there's like a damaged masculine,
mm, mhm,
this thing
mhm,
going around in which like they don't value females a lot more. I mean, not everyone, but when we talk about India, it's like different segments, because like one part of India is like super poor, like as poor as African countries. Then there's like a middle part of India, the middle class, which is like South America, American countries, and then there's like affluent part of India, which is like almost as rich as America and UK. It's very different, and like different parts of the different wealth segments, I would say. But overall, Indian people, I would say, they're more masculine than in general, I would say. Because of course you can have someone in America who's like ripped and who's like super masculine and super low body fat, and like so obviously he's gonna have like more testosterone overall. But in India, in general, I would say people are more masculine, and because they do much harder work, because
mm,
the life's super tough, which turns them into that. And in America, it's a little different. You can be soft and still, be doing okay.
mm.
So I think that's like one of the main differences, I would say. What do you think about that?
No, no, no.
I'm super.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
because we talked about this in person
yeah,
too. And we talked about the differences between the different the
right,
class
right.
type of
Yes,
systems that's over there, and then
yes,
how in different parts of the continent of Africa you have poor
yeah,
countries when you have some that are just
right,
busting with beautiful wealth and different things, and
right.
how a lot of people are trying to kind of stifle that and snuff that out, and even in
Yeah,
certain areas of America, you do have those poor type of
yeah,
ecosystems and economies.
right.
Now, overall, when you are stacking things on top, you see the difference at a higher level. But in general, I would say that when you're talking about the
Right.
stoicism,
Yeah.
that the drive to be successful is more prominent in India because
Yeah.
you have to, there's a greater fight because it's
Yeah.
like there's I don't want to say there's limitations, but there's
No,
limited.
there are limitations. No, there are limitations. It's because the country is super new. It's brand new country, 70 years old. So it's
Mm,
just developing. So you're right. Yeah, yeah,
yeah, because it's and then here in America, you would say to an American, "Oh, it's so easy," and they will look at you like you're crazy. But in
yeah,
comparison to
yeah,
what you've experienced in India
yeah.
and
Right.
here, I can see that and understand that because it's like um there are a lot more opportunities,
Hmm.
here in America,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Being an American myself, I see the I see what you're talking about. Being a person of color, I also
Yeah.
understand what you're talking about from India because it's like, yeah, we're in America, but there are still some strong how can I put it? Barriers to cross
Hmm.
still
Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
in the workforce, professionally,
Right.
economically, socially. There's just a lot that still needs to be developed
Yeah.
and that we're fighting towards when it comes to
Yeah.
equality and equity in that
Right.
way. So I can definitely see what you're talking about. And then when you talked about the levels of testosterone, um, you're not referring to like gym life culture. You're talking
Yeah.
about that whole go-getter type of thing. And in
Yeah.
America, what we see most prominently happening is that there's a specific group of people that seem to
Hmm.
be the ones that go get. But that's just what the statistics is based off of. But there are tons of people who are out there fighting to get,
Yeah.
things done. But
Yeah.
in America, there's a different type of mindset because there
Right.
is a level of ease that people have we have had to grow in. Despite the
Yeah.
struggles that we still have a
Right.
level of ease that some other countries don't. So I think that's very interesting, that you associate that with being more masculine because it's like the drive to succeed
Yeah.
has is far more prominent when you're outside of
Right.
the country than it is
Right.
side of it because it's like we think like, man, I gotta fight every day. And he's looking and you're like, what are you talking about? You have it so easy here. It's like, and we're like,
But
what did you just say to
but
me?
Mr. Locker Room, I would like to also say this thing that life is super relative. Like for me,
Mm,
because I'm coming from India and then I'm here, so it's fairly easy for me. But someone who was born in America, life is like relative to our own experiences.
mm,
So
mm,
when they say life is tough, I mean they're not kidding. It's true. Life is tough. Life is tough everywhere. But but it's just that like when you go outside or if you're coming from outside, you kind of have like a superpower. However, the superpower goes away very soon because let's say if I've lived in America for 3 years now, this is my relative case. Now this is my
mm,
baseline case. So again, it's gonna look like, oh man, life's going tough. So, but although I always would have like some context of how it was in India, but still, it is super relative. So when dudes say, oh man, my life's tough, I'm fighting this, I'm fighting that. I mean, it's it is bad for them, and it is like it is tough. I would like to say. So that's how it is, man. And also when I'm sorry, you were saying
no, no,
something.
no. Go ahead. Go ahead.
So when we talk about the testosterone levels and stuff like that, I will because I really think that in America it's very femme-centric world. Like because of the feminism, we've given women power a lot. So now I would even say that it's like like America is not a patriarchy at all. It's a matriarchy. Like
Oh,
females
wow.
have all the decisions. Yeah, female take all the decisions and everywhere, like in everything, like even if let's say a guy is going to buy a car for himself, then he's gonna say, "Oh, I'm gonna discuss it with my wife, and then get back to you and stuff like that." So it's the way and Europe as well. I feel like Western countries are now super matriarchal compared to Asian countries. Like China's like not matriarchal. Like a guy over there would consult his other guy friends about a car, not his wife. He
Mm,
would consult his wife about different things like family and the more typical gender roles that you were discussing. But
yeah.
but he's not going to discuss, hey, I'm thinking about buying this stock. Do you think that's what the guy friends are for? And also, I really feel like like if you've seen in a mature like in a macro way and in a long way, the growth in West is kind of like slowing down, and it's not as competitive because we are now a matriarchal society. However, Asian countries and African countries, they're patriarchal societies, and there's nothing wrong in having a matriarchal society, but the only thing is that they do not stay competitive enough because
Mm,
because because a female, she doesn't want to like be competitive. She want to like nurture and like support everyone equally. However, testosterone is like, nah, I want to get that, and I will get that, and be competitive and have that drive to like go 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 go. So that's why you see like India's growth rate is insane. China is growing like crazy because it's all dudes everywhere who are taking the decisions for the
mm,
country, for like for like a lot of things, and that's why they're just like competitive, and like they're they're growing as fast, and that's I think one of the reason, because that the decline is, I mean, West still is a great place to be. Like we're like years ahead of like any Asian country or anything, but we're kind of like slowing down, and I think that's one of the reason, because we're a matriarchy already. Like I don't know
wow.
what the girls who say like feminism, we need feminism. I don't know what they're talking about, because we're already a matriarchy. Like how much do you want? We should have a balance. And also, well, that's the thing. But you know what? Um, Another thing is, like, in matriarchies, the life's usually good. Like if you see if you take any Western country, the quality of life is good, and food is good, water is good, environment is good. Like a lot of things are good. But in any of the patriarchal society, like let's say people living in jungle in Africa, there's no matriarchy going around there, but the life is super tough. So that's so you the code that strong men, like weak times create strong
Mm,
men create good times, and good times create weak men. So I think because we're talking about masculinity, because the time is so good in America and other Western countries, we're creating weak men, weak men, weak men. However,
mm,
I feel like in like coming 200, 100 years, because the power is shifting towards the Asian side now. Like China's economy is crazy, going like crazy. India's economy is growing like crazy. The power is shifting. So after some time, the bad times are gonna come here. So then again, the rise of masculinity will come, and the dudes would create a good time.
yeah.
That's what I think, because if someone is in a power to take decisions, you don't want them to take decisions by their emotions. You want a super logical person to take emotions, because emotions can to take decisions, because emotions can change. Like one day you're
Hmm.
feeling like this, tomorrow you're feeling like this, 3 hours later you're feeling like this, but logic stays the same. So I think decision making has always been combined with the logic behind it. And but that's what I think, man.
No,
That's
no, no.
what I think what's happening.
No.
It's insane.
I am not in a
It's a
disagreement with you.
perspective. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
it's a perspective. It's my
be-
perspective.
yeah, because you just hit on some of the things, that different gender expectations versus on personal
Yeah.
values. And then you also talked about a little bit of like, well, we can get into like the code switching of
Hmm.
masculinity and how you are in different spaces, but you are absolutely
Yeah.
correct in that one part so far that we've been talking about how when times are tough, you
Right.
know, you have to figure it out. Men have to figure it out. And we my co-host and I, at the last episode that we
Hmm.
just did on episode 6, we had a very
Yeah.
strong conversation about men showing emotions in the relationship with their spouses and their wives, and whether or not
Yeah.
they should or not. And my perspective
What was the
was,
conclusion then there?
well, he believed that
They should not show
a
emotions?
man should not go
Yeah.
to his wife with things when he's feeling emotional. And my stance was that the man should be able
Hmm.
to show the wife he has the emotions, but how he processes them, like the emotions should
Hmm.
not rule him. um
Yeah.
she
Yeah.
needs to
Yeah.
see him as a human,
Right.
but that
Right.
she also needs to see him grounded in that.
Right.
And so that way she knows that, okay, she has a emotional resonance inside of her man that she can
Right.
connect to, and that
Right.
he is stable enough to still hold that
Yes.
emotion and not let it rule him and
Right.
dictate to him. And then he's just like crashing out over silly stuff like, oh, I got a
Yeah.
splinter. But that he's grounded, like when life comes and it does
Yeah.
warrant strong emotions, he's able to be aware, process
Right.
them, communicate them, and then
Right.
lead not only himself but her, like the
Exactly.
family and those around him, through those tough emotional times
Yeah.
without dishonoring that. So
Yeah.
we did not come to agreement on but we did not come to agreement. For those of you all, that's episode 6. Go ahead and check that out. But so
Yeah.
far, you guys come on and leave those comments so that we can talk about it, because this is,
Yeah.
we haven't even got, this is still part of the first segment. We haven't even gotten through half of the first segment. That was just the first question. I mean, this is really, really great. So it's like,
Right.